Hey YouTube. Hopefully you can see me correctly. I don't know, I just set up the camera and I'm just gonna go ahead and just rattle off whatever's on my mind in this video. So it's not gonna be as comprehensive as stuff that you'll be seeing in the future. I just wanted to kind of give some perspective because there's a lot of stuff that I've really started to realize now, and it feels kind of stupid because I feel like I could have gone out and figured it out on my own, but I didn't, and I'm realizing it now with the way that college has really worked, the way that it's sheltered us, the way that it's really left me feeling, because there's a lot of different stuff that I've come to recognize now with my life, me being in college and the outcomes that I'm going to be seeing in the next few months as I wrap things up. And I just wanted to share that sort of information with you guys. Hopefully somebody else will be able to get some perspective from it and maybe help make their decisions a bit easier in life. Because, I mean, for me, certainly it's been a roller coaster and just a lot of confusion, a lot of frustration. To start things off, though, I'm a finance student. I've been studying finance for the last 4 years. I came into college thinking that I was really going to find a lot of value learning this sort of stuff. I've been investing since the age of 14. I've been reading plenty of investing books on stocks, bonds, mutual funds, just being able to understand different securities and make the best sort of decisions for myself, and also just to talk about it with friends and see if I can help them in any way possible. So I got really interested in investing back in around, I think it was 2018. And since then, I've been just very interested in the subject. So I decided to go with finance. It was between that and economics. And I mean, going into college, the job search has always been a struggle. Even with the degree, I went to a top 50 university top 50 in business, studying business administration, concentrated in finance. And even with that specialization that I've had, with all of the information that I've learned, finding a job in finance has been probably the most difficult task I've ever tried to get into. And I've heard time and again people complaining about the job market, not just for white collar jobs, but also for blue collar, whether it be even just working at restaurants. I've heard that even getting jobs at restaurants nowadays is really hard. I haven't personally had a whole lot of trouble getting a job when it came to working when I was in high school, but getting an internship, getting a job in college has been probably the hardest thing that I've ever gone through. And nobody really talks about that when you're going through college. It's like this sheltered little environment where you're thinking to yourself, I'm gonna get a job when I'm on the other side. It's almost like guaranteed. And yet, all the effort that I put in to all of these job applications every single day, doesn't actually equate to the sort of output you would expect. It's not like there is no just outcome. There's no fairness that comes from this. I've applied, starting my freshman year, I've been applying to about 100 jobs, close to 100, if not over 100 jobs, specifically internships. But now that I'm in my senior year, I'm about to graduate in 5 months, I've been applying to finance-related jobs. And it feels like I've just had it up to here now because of the fact that I can't even get an interview, not even an interview with any of these firms. And I'm not even trying to go into investment banking. I understand that's for the more prestigious schools, but financial planning and analytics, wealth advising, like I can't even get any of those lower level finance jobs to even as much as look at my resume and possibly even reach out to me. And that's the weird thing too. I know that I am qualified for these jobs. I know that I'm qualified. I have a friend who worked at Bank of America for 2 summers. He was there as an intern, a financial analyst, and he worked there for 2 summers and he got a full-time job offer. So he's returning in February to start working there full-time. On his resume, all his extracurriculars consisted of was just a marching band for 1 year at the university and Besides that, he just had a 4.0 GPA. He had the same exact degree as me, and he worked at Chick-fil-A. And I think to myself, I know I'm more qualified than that person. Not to discredit him in any way, like it's great that he has a 4.0 GPA. I have a 3.9, not a huge difference. I understand that a lot of effort goes into keeping that grade up. But besides keeping that perfect 4.0 GPA, he doesn't really have that much experience actually applying and having sort of demonstration of the skill set that he's learned. In my case, I'm on a financial consulting team. I've been on it for a year and a half, where I've analyzed a bunch of different businesses as basically an intro-level financial analyst with the rest of the team, helping to create projections, valuations, and recommendations for the companies. And I've done that for American Red Cross. I've done that for Deloitte, one of the big four. I've done it for 2 other companies. I'm not even going to list them off because none of you have probably heard of them. And even MSD, Merck, the huge pharmaceutical firm that, I mean, I have an NDA signed with them right now. Like, I can't even discuss what I worked on. It was huge. On top of that, I'm involved in clubs on the university, and it's like a huge resume builder, the kind of stuff that everybody says you're supposed to do. I'm in the finance club. I'm on the executive board for the finance club at the university. I'm a member of the real estate investing club. I'm a member of the sales club. And yet, even with all those qualifications, that somehow I can't even manage to get any sort of the hiring team or HR to even so much as consider sending me any information. It makes me wonder to myself, what am I doing wrong? Does it have anything to do with me? Or is it just the circumstances? Am I just in a place where I can't control what's going on out there? And that's the way that my mind has started shifting now, is that I'm starting to realize that even though you do go through college, there's really no promise of what the outcome is going to be. There's really no future guarantee that you will get a specific job placement in the specific area that you want. And it's disappointing and it's frustrating, because I had this dream of being a wealth advisor, of helping people to achieve their financial goals. And whether it started out with me in FP&A and then transitioning, or whatever it may be, that was my end goal. I wanted to help people with their money. And I'm realizing now that it may not work out. And one of those reasons is just because I can't get into the field. And my second concern is the field even going to be around long term? I have a friend that I've known for the last 6 years. He's in the finance space, and he said to me that the first and foremost is that he doesn't think that his job is really going to be considered really all that necessary in the next 10 years in his mind, due to AI and all the different changes that are going on. We've seen it hit all of the computer science people. We've seen it hit all of the marketing people, and it's trickling its way into finance. I've seen articles out talking about Goldman Sachs already starting to replace several analysts there. And so it's concerning. And on the point too about not even being able to find a job, I know that I've done everything I can. I've gone to every single career fair that the university has hosted, going to all of the different booths. I've applied online. I've applied to over 100 internships every single year, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. And I've networked. I know people in different companies. I've met somebody who works as a wealth advisor at Morgan Stanley, and I've communicated with him. I know another guy doing FP&A at another company. And of course, my friend too, that I've known for 6 years. But even then, like, even with their help, not as much from the wealth advisor at Morgan Stanley, he's too busy, but he's at least helped give me some guidance of ways that I can help improve my resume and improve myself for pitching and just the way that I present myself and my skill set. But either way, it just feels very dire, and it feels like I just keep slamming my head against the wall over and over and over and over and over, but it's just not working. And I don't think that there's something wrong with me. Maybe there is. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I don't want to accept that there is something wrong with me. And that's why I'm unhireable in that field. But part of me realizes that I'm graduating and I need to find some way to make things work. And it might just be that I need to find a different path, and that finance, at least for now, I need to close off that sort of chapter of my life, that sort of dream that I had, that sort of aspiration to work in there. At least close it off for now, because if you just keep trying and trying and trying to do the same thing over and over and over, it feels like, I remember the quote, I've heard it sometime in the past, saying that that's insanity. There's no real rationale behind it, and I don't think that me continuing down this path of continuing to apply over and over to the same jobs that won't accept me, even if I am qualified for them, I don't think that's going to work. I don't expect it to work, and I want to have the most productive usage of my time. I mean, I've been so studious throughout college. I haven't devoted enough time to just having fun, and that's, even now, it's Christmas break. I've been realizing and thinking and reflecting to myself, this is the final time that I have to really enjoy being free, because college is this realm of almost isolation where you kind of have some responsibility. You don't really have your parents breathing down your neck, but you do also have some responsibility, as I said. But you have a lot more freedom, but not all the bills to pay, not everything else to have to deal with. And getting ready to move out, getting ready to just enter the real world and really spread my wings, but also lose all of that freedom that comes with just being a careless college student. I don't know necessarily why I spent so much time being as studious as I was, realizing now that the time and effort that I put in, it doesn't feel like it's being really, I'm not really being rewarded for that time and effort. And I've reflected back too, even in middle school, even in high school, I was so studious. I spent so much time just focusing on keeping my head in the books, keeping myself preoccupied with doing all my school stuff ahead of time, studying, needed to get perfect A's. And it doesn't really matter. And I'm realizing that now. It doesn't really matter. My employers, whoever is looking at my resumes, I highly doubt that they care that much about my grades. If anything, just experience. And again, that's why I'm so confused, is because I know that I have that experience. I know that I'm qualified in many ways, and yet in some ways I'm just cooked. I really don't have a way of getting into that field. So I'm trying to find a way to redirect my energy and my time to be able to be more productive, so that I'm not actually wasting any more of it just in this mindless pursuit of trying to fulfill this dream that I've had. And it's not closed off for good. Like, hopefully I can revisit it. Hopefully I have a future of being able to work in finance, of being able to, not even finance maybe, but just wealth advisory, doing something in the realm of helping other people manage their money and help them to make better decisions for a better future. So that's where I'm at right now. That's the sort of mindset that I have. I wish that I had known all of this before I went to college. I think that's one of the biggest things that I would take away, is I wish that I had known to take more time away from classes, to just enjoy life, to enjoy that freedom, because I dedicated so much time to my academics, to my clubs, and all of this sort of stuff that I did, all this sort of stuff I did to try and build up this resume, this portfolio for myself, to be at least a good candidate for these jobs, considering that I have all this information on myself that I did, and I could have otherwise been spending it like partying and just going out and having more fun with my friends, just hanging out with them more, and I wish that I had. And that's something that I think that a lot of people need to hear coming into college, is that just have fun. Like, you're only 18 to 22 for a certain period of your life, and have fun with those 4 years. I was told it before I went to college, but I didn't understand the meaning of it, because I thought that this is such a monumental period of my life where I need to set myself up for success, and I need to get myself a job, a good job, well-paying, right out of college, making 70K plus, and it's I don't think it's as worth it. I think that there's so much of time in your life where after you graduate, you could just really focus on improving your skills, improving your, just improving your resume. But for the time being, just network with people. Like, I've met some incredible people while I was in college, and I just wish that I'd spent more time with them. Because now we're all going off and doing our own things. Like, several of them just graduated this fall. I've got another 5 months and then I'm out of college too. So it makes me disappointed to think that I didn't spend enough time with them either. And that this pursuit for a job, this fruitless pursuit that hasn't even rewarded me in any way, like, I'm still jobless. I've had 2 internships throughout college, but neither of them were finance related because I just couldn't get in. I managed to work at a law firm for a summer. I managed to work at a insurance brokerage for another summer. Insurance, like, maybe. I'm not that interested in insurance altogether, but family law, I was doing estate planning and all that, not for me. Definitely not for me. But it's just something hard that I think needs to be learned with experience, or at least recognized before you actually come in and commit, is that you're in college. It's a very sheltered environment, but even while you're here, even if you're paying, like, I think overall I'm coming out with $90K in total costs. Even while you're here, there's absolutely no guarantee that you'll be able to have any sort of security coming out, especially with the disruption of AI right now. There's a lot of concern about future workplace jobs, especially for white collar. So we'll see where things go. We'll see where I start applying, but at this point it's going to be different than what I expected, because I just have to put the pause button for any sort of finance related work, because I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think I'm going to get a job in finance, especially not at this stage where I've been applying for the last 6 months, ever since my senior year started, and I have not heard anything yet. So yeah, that's just sort of my thoughts on the topic. If any of you are having any sort of similar struggles, be curious to hear about it. I mean, if it's able to reach somebody who hasn't yet entered college, maybe this will make you rethink it. I certainly have been. I know, got a few friends, my younger brother included, that are they've decided not to go the college route, and understandably so. One's doing HVAC technician. I mean, my younger brother, he's training to become a pilot right now, doing pilot school, and there's just so many different other paths you can take. And I think that a lot of people need to start considering that too. For me, college, it felt like it was the right decision because I'm studious. That's something that I know. It's something that I'm familiar with and comfortable with. Would I do grad school? Would I do grad school? Would I go through an MBA or PhD program? Absolutely not. I don't want to be stuck in the system for another 4 to 6 years. Absolutely not. But I've realized now that if it's just not worth it. And part of the thing too is it feels like we're being sold this lie that all the institutions, the universities, the colleges are trying to sell you this idea that if you go to college, you're going to be so much better off in life. But one of the biggest issues we're facing too is the fact that college in general has just generally become the standard. It's now a requirement by so many different jobs where it's like you need to have a college degree. You need to have 3 years plus of experience just for an entry-level job. And I just think to myself, how is that even possible? How am I supposed to come out of college with my 2 internships that I worked and just the classwork that I completed and just suddenly be fully fit for the job? The expectation in my mind is that you're going to train me on the necessary skills so that I can complete the job correctly. And yet it seems like there's this disconnect with HR or the employers or whoever's making these job postings where it's like, what happened to traditional entry-level jobs? What happened? Why is it so difficult? So I think I'm going to end the video here. If anybody sees this, hopefully you're able to make some good decisions, or at least have this sort of spiel, this rant that I've given, help you in some way to at least make yourself feel like you're making a more informed decision about where you want to be in the future, where you sort of feel more guided towards. Because yeah, I came into college with this sort of dream that I'd complete 4 years and then just leave and have a job that I love, or be happy with at least. And I could say a large part I was deluded by that. And I think that the big reality check is what a lot of us need these days. So if this helped, yeah, just hopefully this helps. You guys take care. Good luck out there.